It's been 90 years. Sometimes it seems like 120. But it's been a good run. She's raised us all well. And we're proud of her.
We're planning our next trip. We couldn't go this summer because my other daughter is getting married. But we're planning our next trip. We've been a lot of places, and so we're going to have another trip somewhere around the world.
They're going to Oliva next time. They're staying. No more going to Turkey.
And there's a couple people. There's a couple people that are going to speak. We have her brother Harlan, who's going to say a few words for us. So Harlan, do you want to?
Oh, by the way, I beat my sister with a grandbaby. My new grandson.
Good afternoon. They asked me to say a few words, and I'll keep it at that. If I would think of sometimes early childhood, I came along some years after Muriel, but she being the oldest, I guess it's not the farmer's greatest delight that his first child is. You'd think of a big son to kind of give a little help there. But Muriel did get out to the chores in the barn, and I know she chased cows, and I went with her sometimes, chased cows up and down the lane, back and forth, and got to drive horses. And one of the things, I don't know if she still remembers, driving horses on a hay loader. And I don't know how many of you even know what a hay loader is. If I would tell you a little bit about a hay loader, you have the wagon that's about a 16 by 8 foot wagon, and then with a team of horses in front, and then behind you have this hay loader, an elevator that picks up this hay that's supposed to be in a nice neat windrow, picks it up and brings it up into the wagon. Well, then you get a young boy, or if you don't have a young boy, you have a young girl. Sits in front there, down at the bottom, and drives the horses. And they keep telling you to slow them down, slow them down. I remember that. You're going too fast. And as the hay builds up, gets up against there, there's not much behind it. The chaff kind of falls down. And sometimes a bug or a grasshopper coming with it. You sit steady and you hold them down, now hold them down. I guess she probably was relieved when the boys got a little bit older, so some of them could drive, and she didn't have to do that anymore. But I know she could help with the milking and help with the chasing cows and horses and that sort of thing, and was pretty good at it. Then going to school, school's a half a mile away, and she got first one to go to school. But then the next year there was a little brother with her, and pretty soon another brother. Pretty soon there were, how many, 4? Might have been 4 brothers. By the time she was in the 8th grade, she had 4 brothers with her to look after on the way to school, and probably at school and home again. I don't know, was a big table there where the kids sat around the kitchen table. And Grandpa was there too, and Uncle Henry in for a time. And I guess we still remember when Grandpa died. I think my dad sat up all night with him, and Grandpa Dad died the next morning. And that was when they stopped the clock. I remember the clock being stopped, what was it, 6:30, 7:30, or something like that. The clock was stopped then until after the burial. After a while, she got to go away to school, and she came back as a nurse, believe it or not. And she was always willing to give people aid, or especially advice, whether you needed it or not. A lot of little cuts and bruises were taken care of, and a lot of advice. I have to think one of the good things, as I was younger, I was injured with a baseball bat in my nose, and I had severe headaches much of the time. And it was, I think I was probably in my 20s, and she had suggested that I should see this doctor in Minneapolis, and I had surgery, and I've never had a headache from that since, so I'm thankful. Going on then, as we grew up, our kids we had a family of our own with kids, and on Sunday, the first thing after church, the first thing they want to do, how about if we go to Shervey's? And I think everybody enjoyed every trip we ever made where we went, where the kids could go, and the old people could go fishing or swimming or picnicking, and just have a good time where you could come and go, and everybody was really very comfortable there. We really enjoyed those times. Then I just have to think of, as her life, we have to think, I was just thinking of the verses on the backboard there, love never fails, and love mercy, and walk humbly with thy God. I like to think that she's been a Christian witness for us, and something that we certainly like to give thanks for, as long as we know. Thank you so much.
I wanted to tell you when they talked about the hay loader and that thing would pick up the hay and go put it up to the wagon and then drop it. I think it was you that got your overall caught in the hay loader and you started riding up on that thing, and I had to run ahead of whoever was driving so that it would stop before they got to where it would drop down into the load. And because they were there with the fork then to put the hay on this side or that side to make the load even. And I remember, I think it was you that got caught in your overall suspender, you know, or something. You were picking up throw some hay on binder, on the picker up or whatever that, you know. And he was riding up that thing, it was real high.
My name is Chelsea Rosenow, I'm his daughter, and I'm just going to say a couple of things on behalf of Muriel's grandchildren and her great-grandchildren. I wasn't around for your childhood, it sounds crazy, but we are very lucky as grandchildren because our grandmother was somebody that actually was right there, literally bringing us into the world because she was a nurse. So she was there for a lot of her grandchildren's births, which is something special not everybody can say. And as her granddaughter, something I've always been very, very proud of, and we have as grandchildren, is listening to the stories my grandma tells about when she did go to nursing school. And back when she did, she was brave enough to go to places like New York and experience things that a lot of women her age at that time weren't able to do or didn't have the opportunity to do. And I've always been so proud to have a grandma that was doing very advanced, brave things at her age, going to school. And I love hearing her stories about when she was in New York and the experiences that she had. So I've always enjoyed hearing that as we've grown up. And then, of course, as referenced a little bit earlier, one of the best places on earth as her granddaughter is going out to grandma's at the lake. And we have so many pictures and so many memories. Out there on the lake, and having those memories is something that we cherish, and we're going to cherish forever. And thank you so much, everybody, for coming. And 10 years from now, we'll have a 100th year celebration. Everybody will be here for it.
Ginger, one of my mom's great friends. While she's coming up, I should have introduced her brothers. There are many of her brothers here, and you guys want to stand up so everybody gets a chance to see brothers and sister-in-laws. Yeah, you guys stand up. And sister-in-laws. Stand there.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ginger Weirman from Lake Minnesota Garden Club, and I do count Muriel as a special friend. She's a 41-year charter member of our club, And we're kind of a sisterhood. We've had men on occasion be our members, but currently we're a sisterhood. And as our garden club goes, we laugh together, we learn together, we work really hard together, and sometimes we even cry together. And I think that's what makes us such a special group. Today, though, is a really happy occasion, and so I decided instead of me speaking the whole time, I'd ask our garden club members, and I told them just a little phrase or something of what they learned from Muriel. Because she is a great mentor. She will teach you things by example and by instruction. So what she taught me is to stay curious, because if you learn one thing every day, you will never get old. So that's what I learned from Muriel, to stay curious. So anyone back there who's brave wants to stand up. That's our garden club group back there. Tell them what you learned from Muriel. Stand up and say.
I'm Gail Fox, and when I moved here a few years ago, Muriel was one of the very first people that I met in the pool at the YMCA in water aerobics. And she invited me along with Jeannie to join the club. And so it was so inviting and so welcoming to meet somebody who opens their heart and opens their world to you when you're a stranger. Thank you, and God bless you.
Who else back there? Karen Allen?
Muriel taught me before we even moved here that it was a great place to come to, because as Bob was deciding, was this the job he was going to take, we were driving around, and here, thanks goes to Shervey Muriel, was a sign that says, "Please do not litter, Lake Wissota Garden Club." At that point, I knew I could be happy here.
Who else back there? Come on, stand up.
I think Muriel Shervey is the poster child for you're only as old as you feel. She embodies that, and she also has the can-do, if you can do it spirit when we're working in our wild, crazy wildflower garden. If she's having sore knees that day and all she can do is sit on her bottom and pull buckthorn babies and basic weeds out, that's what she'll do. We also have the privilege of having her be one of the first smiling faces our 3 children saw in this world at St. Joseph's Hospital when they arrived. Thank you, Muriel.
Anyone else back there? Sandy?
I love Muriel's exuberance. That just means overflowing with good health and strength. And I stopped by a few years ago. She was in the hospital, and I didn't realize that the Grim Reaper had stopped by a little bit before I had, but she sent him on his way. She made a miraculous recovery. I think it stunned everybody. But she laid in bed as I brought her these flowers, and she recounted that it was a rather, stressful morning. But she was just up and on her way before I knew it, and so that's what she's taught me. Just her zest for life is something I envy and try to emulate. That's what you've taught me, Muriel.
I was trying to think of a word that would describe Muriel, and I thought of a lot of different things and a lot of experiences that we had over the last 40 years. And one thing that came to my mind was giving. I think Muriel's a very giving person. She gives of herself wholeheartedly to people and to organizations and to causes that are part of her life. So thank you, Muriel, for teaching us that.
Thanks.
I think of Muriel as ever-ready bunny. I mean, we go out to an outing, we come home, I can't wait to get home. We've toured greenhouses and yards, and I'm exhausted. She wants to get home so she can go to a softball game to be with the grandkids. So I just admire her energy, as well as her personality. She's a lot.
Well, I am at best an auxiliary member of the garden club, and I did have something to do with with those 3 children that got mentioned. And also with a whole bunch more deliveries. I was a physician practicing for many years when Muriel was at labor and delivery. And I walked in and I said, where are all these other doctors and nurses that you bailed out a whole bunch of times? Josie, thank you. But on behalf of all the others, I say thank you.
Anyone else back there? I carry greetings from our club president, who says, I learned gardening is a family affair from Muriel. Some work, some fun, some love. I am so bummed I can't be there. I'm in Madison with my daughter. So she couldn't be, and Kathy Wood is celebrating her baby's 50th birthday in Milwaukee, so she couldn't be here. It says, thank you for everything you taught me in the garden. So, thank you, Muriel. I think we just all say we love you.
Just because it's a garden club greeting here, I thought I might inject just a word here too. Muriel, I don't know if you know, has long graced our church with flower arrangements on any given Sunday. She uses her gifts and her skills so well. I get to see always up front, I'm up there at the altar as her pastor, and you just can't believe the things that she can put together. She might on occasion have put in the bulletin, if anyone has flowers in their garden they'd like to donate, I'll come over and I'll cut them, I'll make an arrangement. And if nobody does, on any given Saturday, you might see her down in the ditch somewhere. Where she's literally got down her car and said, oh, I saw a pretty flower. And she's down in there getting it, cutting it, because she already has a vision of what she's going to put together to grace God's altar. So not only is she a flower arranger, I would make the case that Muriel is a flower, because she has exhibited for me too a continuous growth. That when I have Bible study on Sunday morning, she'll be in worship service, she's there, she wants to continue to grow in God's Word. And she gives a great witness that way, and you can all be proud of her, and we can all take a lesson from her. She sets the bar pretty high, is continuing to grow, continuing to blossom in God's Word that she knows is tried and true, and she puts her faith there. So I stand in awe of this great woman.
We're going to sing happy birthday, do the cake, and then we want everybody to have some cake.
I love you.
So, Debbie, could I have just one word? You can. This is my cousin, Debbie, one of like 36 or 37.
Close group. I just wanted to mention, Harvey got up and talked, but he didn't really share the challenges that Muriel had with 6 younger brothers. And I don't know if you grandkids know, but it's a miracle that she was ever able to get married, because when she would bring a date home, these brothers were very creative, and I know that it involved having the boyfriend say goodbye at the door, and mops and buckets of water, etc., being rained down on them, and other kinds of things that they put in the way. And so it's a miracle that she ever had one brave enough to take on being a family member of this. So you want some questions about that? Some of the brothers are here. You should ask for those details.
Close with one of the things that I learned from my mom was that she's always so happy for everyone else's joys. And if somebody has a great accomplishment, she's the first one to tell, the first one to share. She's always so happy for other people. And the lesson I learned is that if you want to be happy all the time, you can be happy for everyone. It doesn't just have to be about you. And to share other people's joys. She's forever sharing that, no matter who, whether it's friends or relatives. And it's a great lesson in life. It's a great way to go through life, because you're happy most of the time, because there's usually something happy happening somewhere. So I just close with a prayer. Dear Heavenly Father.
I got a little wax in there, don't worry about it.
So let's sing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Muriel. Happy birthday to you.
As many more.
Oh, by the way, you'll see one of these happy birthdays is backwards and upside down. My dad did that.
All right. You want to count Grandma and tell him when to go?
3, let's all go.
One more. All right. All right. So
I
cut the
would
cake
like
and.
I would like to say thank
Oh,
you
yes.
for everyone that came, and I'm truly embarrassed to hear all those wonderful stories. I'm so glad that I have all these friends and family to be with me today. Thank you for coming.